Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? I be Keith, and this be the B roll. Yeah. As the title says, the blame game, election 2024, part three. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Because people, they tripping out on this. They really are tripping out on this. Um, the blame game goes like this. They want to blame everybody. Want to blame this thing, that thing that happened, or the cause for the loss, and they want to know what happened. I'll tell you what happened. The candidate, Kamala Harris, lost. That's it. It ain't no big thing. I mean, it's a big thing because the significance uh, uh, of the whole thing. That's what makes it a big thing. But all the elements, the reasons, the rationale uh, is there. Okay, I know I'm going to piss off a lot of people, right? I am because I've been talking on this subject matter for decades, decades, yeah, for since when? Since 2000 and since George W. Bush beat Al Gore. Yeah. Why do Democrats lose? I've been saying this is why. This is my question. I've been stating it and posing that question. Why do Democrats lose? Why do Democrats lose? Why do Democrats lose? And why do Democrats lose? I've been stating it. I've been posing the question and stating it since Al Gore lost to George W. Bush. Uh, it's simple. So when I say this, I'm not saying this from some, my feelings and some, some, some thought, some ideological point of view and reference. No, I'm saying it from straight up. Why? Some people give you all these different explanations and stuff like that, or try to give you an explanation, rationalization, and then they want to take it and they want to weaponize their thoughts. Not me. I ain't got time for that. I just don't have time for that. And so I'm gonna tell you why Democrats lose. And I know it's gonna piss people off, but the fact is, this is the reality. Ready? Here we go. Uh, what was I gonna say? I'm gonna say it like this. Forget it. You know me, Keith, right? Kamala Harris is one of the dumbest candidates ever, ever. The only other candidate I know in my lifetime that was that dumb was Al Gore. In my voting lifetime, the only two presidential candidates I could say on this level of dumbness was Al Gore and Kamala Harris. These are facts, and I'm gonna tell you why. Tell you why. I'm explaining to you why. Are you ready? Here we go. Let me get into the mode of trying to unpiss people off, and I hope you will put aside your feelings for a moment and listen to reality and take understanding and take a grasp of what I'm trying to say or what I am saying, what I'm explaining to you. The reason why, again, reason why Democrats lose and why do Democrats lose. Ready? I'm going to take you back to an election that happened in 2000. And that was the election between Al Gore, Vice President Al Gore, right, and candidate George W. Bush. So you can see the similarities, and it's not a major thing. It's not a lot there, all right. But you're going to see the similarities. Here it goes: Bill Clinton, Al Gore. That's what it was. Bill Clinton, Al Gore. They inherited fiasco, a fiasco from 12 years of conservative Republican rule, right? Ronald Reagan, 4 years, then George H.W. Bush. No, Ronald Reagan, sorry, 2 terms, 8 years, and George H.W. Bush, 1 term, 4 years. So that's 12 years of conservative Republican, right? Bill Clinton balanced the budget. Yeah, enough said. He balanced the budget. Al Gore was his president, was his vice president. Al Gore was there, his ride or die homie. But then this little thing came up with some kind of congressional thing. They wanted to impeach Bill Clinton. So Al Gore totally, totally, totally cut himself off, isolated, alienated Bill Clinton. You alienate one of the most articulate people in politics. Sound familiar? Fast forward to 2024. You got Biden, Harris ticket. They they turned around an economy in a time where we were looking at financial ruin. The former president left added $8 trillion, left with a negative jobs on. He left with a negative amount of jobs. Man, people want to talk about all these other excuses. That's what happened. The numbers. But he had inherited an economy. He inherited an economy from Barack Obama, who inherited a crisis, a financial crisis that was about to take our nation into financial ruin. And in 8 years, he turned it around. Who? Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Joe Biden didn't win the nomination. Hillary Clinton won the nomination. But she chose not to run with Barack Obama. Again, one of the most articulate men in politics. She lost. Donald Trump, the candidate, the nominee for the Republican Party, the candidate, Donald Trump, inherited that economy. He took, oh, it was so terrible, it was so terrible, and took credit for every great thing that was done. All those numbers, statistics, stats that said, no, this is the greatest economy in period. And so he inherited all that stuff. And then he screwed it up by his mismanagement of COVID, right? How do we get back to Kamala Harris? The similarities between Kamala Harris and Al Gore. Biden, Harris administration took over in 2021. They turned the economy around. They turned all this stuff around. Inflation was going to spike. You know how I know? Because Joe Biden told us when it first started to spike, well, it's going to spike. Why? Because of all of the financial problems and issues that came along with COVID. But what people didn't want to hear is that, hey, we are recovering and have recovered quicker, faster, and more strongly our economy and across the board than every other nation. Note that we recovered faster than every other nation, right? Okay, I'm gonna take notes as I go along. And so what happened? So here we are in 2024. People was looking at Joe Biden to win, to go up against Trump. But then he had this little debacle at this debate. Didn't look good. So everybody started crashing in on him. He decided to drop out or remove himself from the being the nominee for the party and handed the torch off to Kamala Harris. Am I right or wrong? This is what happened, right? This. I'm not making this. This is not hyperbole. This is what happened. So then what happened? She took the torch. She thanked Joe Biden. You know what she did? Like Al Gore, she ran away from the accomplishments that she was part of. That was one of the dumbest things you could do. People say, no, Joe Biden caused it. No, no, no. Why did Kamala lose? It was Biden's fault. He stayed in the race too long. Blah, 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 blah. BS. Crap. Crap. Garbage. It wasn't Biden's fault. When he made his announcement that he was going to withdraw from the race and he passed the torch off to Kamala Harris, when she thanked him, she should have embraced him. She should have given him a hug and showed thank you. And her argument should have been on her platform, one of her platforms in the front should have been, you know what? We're going to win this for Joe. How that feel? We're going to win this for Joe. Chills, right? Chills. But she didn't. She pulled away. She let the media scare her off. So she said, no, and I'm going to go this, and my administration is going to be totally different. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? First of all, we don't know you that well. We don't. The fact is that intellectually speaking, yeah, uh, yeah, you may be better than the former president, than Donald Trump, than the former president, right? That's another thing. But we know Joe Biden. We don't know you. We know of you. We know you did some stuff to help turn around this debacle, to clean up this mess that was handed to you. We know this, but what was it? What was it? Tell me. Don't run away from it, saying that you're going to not do the same thing that Joe Biden did. Joe Biden did a great job. Not only did Joe Biden do it, guess what? You did it. So when they was asking you, what have you been doing? You could have just said, well, like you started off, well, we inherited. For those who don't want to remember, we inherited a great debacle. We inherited the worst since the Barack Obama inherited that fiasco that was passed on to him, where him and Joe Biden cleaned it up. Joe Biden and me, we inherited massive job loss, People dying all over the place because of the mishandling of the former president. But instead, you didn't. You ran away from it. That was dumb. That candidate even threw it in your face, just like he threw it in James Comey's face when he fired him. He cited what James Comey did to Hillary Clinton. James Comey handed him the presidency when he opened up that reinvestigation. He handed Donald Trump the presidency, and Donald Trump fired him. And I said, "Good, that's good. That's what you get." Right? George Bush, George Bush. When he beat Gore, you know what he said? If Al Gore would have just won his home state, he would have won it all. If Al Gore would have just won his home state that he lost to George Bush, he would have won it. He would have won it all. So here's what happened. Like I said, Donald Trump inherited Barack Obama's economy, Barack Obama and Joe Biden's economy, right? That's a fact. That was low, record lows, and trending down. Think about that. Record low and trending down. And then he screwed it up. But guess what? Here's why, again, like Al Gore, when Al Gore ran away from Clinton, right? And he was the dumbest candidate until now. He was alone in that. Because here's what happened. Inflation, that they were talking about inflation a few months ago is now down to around 2%. Income after inflation is increased by about 4,000. The stock market records have been increasing ever since Joe Biden took over. It increased by what? 12,000 points? He took over 28,000 points, and now it's 12,000 points. I'm sorry, it's 42,000 points. And you know what they just said just yesterday? The stock market is at all-time records. Well, it's been all-time records for the last 3.5 years, last nearly 4 years since since Biden and you took over. Now they're talking stock market. Unemployment low. It's the lowest perhaps in decades, if not ever. That's Biden you. That's Biden Harris. Jobs are plentiful. There are job hiring notifications all over the place. That's you. That's Joe Biden and you. Gas prices, $3 and below, around $3 and below. It said about maybe 21 states. It's under $3. That's Joe Biden and Harris administration did that. We're not in any wars. For the first time in our nation's history that I can remember, we're not in any wars. That's Biden Harris administration. Manufacturing jobs, around 1 million manufacturing jobs created. That's Biden Harris administration. Energy production at an all-time high, both combustible and green energy, clean energy, all-time high. That's Biden Harris. You ran away from that. Kamala Harris, you ran away from that. And Donald Trump was saying, "Oh, she's the dumbest person ever. She's just stupid and dumb." And you can see why. You ran away from that, and you want to reinvent. No, don't reinvent. Add on to that. You say no. You should have brought up all these great things instead of talking about Donald Trump crowd sizes and Project 2020-25. You should have been showing people, telling people, directing people to your website from the beginning because you had these policies there. for a while. You should have had them. You should have been talking about them. You had to sell it. Kamala Harris had to sell this. You had the bully pulpit. You had the big mic. Name calling. He calling you all these different names. He's calling you a socialist and a communist and extreme leftist. Well, no response. You lost this. Kamala Harris lost this. The candidate, the party nominee, lost it. It wasn't the surrogates. The surrogates did a great job. The surrogates were doing a great job, a better job than the candidate. Instead of talking about the crowd sizes, how big your crowd sizes are, you should have been having town hall meetings. All those crowd sizes should have been town hall meetings. You should have been having Muslim people in there. You should have had Muslims and Palestinians speaking, coming out there talking. You should have had Latino people, not just big names of Jennifer Lopez and Cardi B and blah 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 and Mark Anthony. That's good. They're good. But you should have had regular Latinos coming up there and speaking because they are in the party. But instead, you isolated everyone. You're very smart. You're very book smart, and you're suave. I'm pretty sure you're kind of suave when you come to the courtroom. But this courtroom, you failed. You failed to make the case. That's why you lost. So the blame game, part three, is going to be the same thing. I'm telling you why you lost. You ran away from Joe Biden. You should embrace Joe Biden. Because I want to remind people, for those who don't know, don't remember, or too young to know, George Bush second term, he didn't win. He didn't win on his policies. He didn't win on his shining intellectual persona. You know how he won it? He said, "Let's send my wife back to the White House." He said, "What's his name? Oh, what's her name? I forget her name." But he said, "Yeah." He said, "Let's send my wife back to the White House." She was so likable. She was so likable, like school mom, church, the one, and they sent her back. They sent her back. They sent his wife back to the White House. That's it. Laura Bush. They sent Laura Bush back to the White House. But who was in control? George Bush. We had no problem with sending Biden back to the White House if Biden did not show his physical decline. Not intellectual, but physical. And you didn't even bring that up. You should have been like jogging. You should have like jogging, walking up down the stairs, like, yeah, jogging, you're sweating, doing Pilates or whatever. I don't care if they just spray water on your face. To give a contrast, people consider Donald Trump to be impassioned and all this stuff, and without any empathy for anybody. Well, you should have been more compassionate and embraced the man who made you a historical figure, the first woman vice president. Because if you would embrace Joe Biden, and I don't care what any of these clowns, these posters want to say, if you would embrace Joe Biden, because a lot of people really love Joe Biden, especially the unions. They don't know you. Joe Biden stood beside him. They would have come out for you. They would have did it. They would have won it. Like George Bush said, let's win it for the Gipper. You know what he's talking about? George W. Bush was talking about Ronald Reagan. Let's send Laura Bush back. It's simple. Politics is a lot simple than you think it is. So the blame game. Who's to blame? Who's at fault? Kamala Harris. I know I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. You're not gonna like me, but that's it is what it is. Y'all have a good one, all right? Don't forget to let me see, hit that subscribe button, the like button, and remember the notification so that when I do a stream, you'll get notified, right? So that's it. Y'all be good.